Hello, I'm Cornelius Fichtner, PMP, and in this video we are going to take a look at all the PMP exam sample question types that you are going to have to practice as you are studying to get PMP certified. Anyone who has sat for the PMP exam knows that studying the PMBOK guide and having 35 contact hours is just not enough. When you talk to them about the PMP exam, they will tell you that it covers a lot of ground and that the questions are not as straightforward as one would hope. Of the ones that have passed the exam, an overwhelming percentage of them will tell you that they used more than just one study method. So, just as a golfer must learn how to drive and putt before they ever step onto an 18-hole golf course, the PMP applicant must also learn the mechanics of taking the exam and what to expect when they arrive on game day at the testing center. Employing multiple study methods may give you a triangulated understanding of the material as well as illuminating what you know and what you don't know. Being able to answer PMP exam sample questions is crucial to your exam success. Sounds simple? Yeah, in concept, yes. After all, the PMP exam only has multiple choice questions with 4 answers and one of them has to be correct. However, there are a number of question types. Each type has their purpose and a caveat, which makes knowing how to get the most out of each question exponentially crucial. So let's go ahead and jump into these different question types right now. First of all, there are the formula-based questions, and they are more than just solving for the median or calculating earned value. There are around 49 PMP exam formulas that you must know backwards and forwards in order to pass the PMP exam. You have to study them, you have to understand them thoroughly down to the importance of each element that will give you the decision-making criteria that you have to include or exclude values that you get from the PMP exam question scenario. Next, we have the situational questions. These test your ability to apply theoretical know-how to real-life project management situations. Often these questions tend to be very long-winded. The idea behind this is that in real life you will also be handed both relevant and irrelevant information in every situation. Your task on the PMP exam then is to identify what is relevant, ignore what doesn't matter, and then act upon the real issues that are presented to you in the question. So be sure to read and accurately identify the actual question that is being asked of you so that you can eliminate all the useless information. Often situational questions will offer 2 choices which are both reasonably correct, so it's vital that you identify what the question is exactly asking. Do you have to select the best of the available choices, or what to do next, or do you have to find the exception, or do you have to find the only correct answer? You will also come across specific technique questions that require you to know a technique and be able to apply this technique. For instance, a specific technique question will provide a snapshot of a situation, like a network diagram, and now ask you to provide something that's inherent in that diagram. For instance, like in a network diagram, ask you to calculate a forward pass and a backward pass. Then there are also the knowledge-based questions, which require you to identify the meaning of a situation based on your understanding of the facts provided. So you have to apply your knowledge in order to answer this question. Knowledge-based questions may ask you to identify an example chart or a graphic, such as recognizing a RACI chart or a Pareto chart. Interpretational questions. They test your ability to deduce a situation or condition from the description of a status or problem and then give your interpretation. For example, if your project has an SPI and a CPI, both greater than 1, How well is your project performing? To solve this question, to find the correct answer, you will need to know how SPI and CPI relate to the project's performance. And since about 75% of the PMP exam relates directly to the PMBOK guide, there will be PMBOK guide knowledge-based questions. These test your familiarity of specific areas within the PMBOK guide, such as which of these processes are not part of the initiating process group, or what are the inputs to the create WBS process. You're going to need to answer dozens of sample questions from each of these types that we just looked at before you will feel ready to tackle the exam. But how and where do you find such mock exams? Well, frankly, there are many free PMP sample questions available on the internet. They're just a Google search away. However, you want to be very careful with these free questions because, well, they're free, so you really get what you pay for. So you have to also consider signing up to a real PMP exam simulator. And that is simply because an exam simulator is the best way to practice all the question types as you are getting ready for your PMP exam. Also, you can access the questions via the internet from anywhere and on your schedule. But be sure that the questions were created based on the most recent version of the PMBOK guide, and the question population should also represent the percentages that the real PMP exam contains. So there you have it. If you want to pass the PMP exam, you need to learn about the different types of questions that will appear on the exam and practice them using a high-quality online exam simulator. Once you know how to identify the real question that's being asked from each of these question types, you'll greatly increase the odds of finding the correct answer. I know this sounds simplistic, but it's no small task because you'll need to be able to recall and apply all the theoretical knowledge required, combine it with your project management experience, and relate this to the question at hand. And this concludes our look at all the question types that you need to practice in order to pass your PMP exam. If you are looking for a real-life PMP exam simulator, then why not look at pmexamsimulator.com. This exam simulator offers 1,800 very realistic exam sample questions that you can practice on. There is even a 3-day free trial. Until next time.